You know what? You know what? The team's already in this game. Yeah. I want to get to casting. How about you?
Me too.
All right, get us out of here.
No rambling.
Take us out of here.
Let's just jump into the freaking game here. Okay, so we got Team Insanity on the Legion side, Stay Green on the Hellborn side. It's good to be back, man. It's good to be back. And
in convincing fashion here. No.
Yeah. All right, so man, we're coming off not only a great series earlier, of course, the Yeah-Yeahs defeating Lions 2-1, but what a game one, man. I mean, sure, Stay Green in the end, the team power just proving to be too much. A very aggressive play led them to victory, but wow, we had a lot of action in that game number one, so hopefully that keeps up here in the second game. Look at the blind bands, Ophelia Parasite from our Legion team, Flux Tundra again from Stay Green, so something about that Flux Tundra. They got the inside, man. They got the inside info here, Emperor. So who knows? Rally's first lock, Keeper of the Forest, Tempest, the follow-up. Nothing new there.
Well, now we still have the Moon Queen Artillery, though, to deal with, so can't forget those. We saw Swindlelands actually chose to lock those up last game. At this point, they are still open. Not really sure whether we'll see them make an appearance again. Moon Queen did not have the time of her life. Artillery was passed over in favor of other picks.
Yeah.
So they chose to go for that Keeper of the Forest Tempest combination instead. Otherwise, pretty standard lock pool here. Can't say we've seen much of a difference. And, well, I mean, a lot of the powerful heroes of the previous metagame didn't exactly get nerfed down. Other heroes were attempted to be brought up, and
more brought up, yeah.
Some of the gameplay changes. But yeah, I'd expect to be even more surprises, if any, coming out of the normal picks and not the lock picking pool at this point.
Yeah. So into the banning stage we go. We saw Fuzi right-clicking that fade, and eventually does get locked up there by Insania. Of course, Fuzi known for playing a great fade. Obviously, she's one of those heroes. She didn't necessarily receive any nerfs, or a big nerf at least, with the patch, but at least from herself. But of course, the Bound Eye change, it's safe to say, even with the addition of when you use it, you come out of stealth, was a big part of for her. So she, in a sense, did receive a big nerf with the Bound Eye change. Still a powerful hero, though. I mean, still has a strong ganking presence, of course. But it does take away her ability to just move around. And
it wasn't just the Bound Eye change, though. It's also the dust is actually being on a lower cooldown and giving vision for 3 seconds. It's all you need for your point man, your initiator, your Deadwood, or your Pebbles to jump on that fade if she's nearby in the fog. So,
very true.
It took a couple of nerfs and a bunch of different capacities. Lodestone being banned out here. No team really wanted to lock him up yet, much like how the Pebble, the Deadwood, and the Rally, or the Pebbles even get locked up sometimes. Just being passed over for now. Soul Reaper being banned out, following up by Insania. So,
obviously, we saw plenty of Soul Reaper last series. In fact, both victories for the Yeah-Yeahs involved the Soul Reaper.
Pearl is still on the board, but I'm expecting Insania has first pick here. So whether he'll ban it out or want to keep it in the pool to utilize it, and see, it's actually Swindlemelons there. Both teams realizing the strength of Pearl. It's yeah. So one could say maybe Lions and Tankafet team, they either have a different outlook on Pearl, or maybe they're not comfortable using the hero yet.
Yeah.
Either way, both of these teams highly valuing her. I haven't gotten to see her much in top tier competitive scrims, or matches, but I'm sure we'll see it. I'm sure we'll see it. This makes a statement that no doubt she is on the scene.
And when you got two, obviously a team in Stiga, the best team out there right now, and then another team, and a newer team, but plenty of great players on this team, of course. Banning that now back-to-back games, it definitely says something, that the idea that the skill set of the hero is definitely there. So it's just a matter of actually coming into play now. So the first pick, Insania's thinking about it, man. They're going to start dipping into extra time here. Usually first picks are pretty confident. In the end, he is going to go with Torturer as his first pick hero here. Of course, always a versatile hero. Whether or not it'd be played as support or more of a farming style Torturer is the question now. Moving along, but as far as over to Stay Green, they have their first two picks now are going to be coming up. So we'll see. Again, a lot of changes to just keep in mind. Moon Queen left on the board, though, by the way. And you know what else is left on the board? Wild Soul is also still on the board. That's just hitting me. Again, he did receive a little bit of a nerf with the bear and the entangle situation.
Yeah, the gameplay changes in general. Yeah, Tempest still is in this pool. I still want to see teams like that. Bubbles being picked up means that if they were to take Tempest here first on the Legion side, they'd probably be forcing the Bubbles into more of a suicide role. Not forcing it. You can obviously run him in other places still, but
yeah.
Excuse me.
There?
Yeah, I just had a little bit of a sneeze. Pandemonium being highlighted, but yeah, I think it could be interesting maybe taking the Tempest and once again trying to see, I don't know, you can't really You can try to run it more aggressively, or just leaving it. I just feel like you can man up on a Moon Queen. It's just like I don't like that Tempest being a pull for it.
Yeah, it's the Pandemonium. Obviously, what's that?
I was gonna say maybe if they banned out Tempest to start out within the blind ban phase. What were you gonna say?
Well, we saw Nox playing, or we saw the monitoring in the game at least. Nox playing Pandemonium for Q Squad, and it looks like I don't know if that game is actually finished just yet, but they were up quite a bit against Complexity. So I wouldn't be surprised if they did eventually come through with a victory. Okay, it looks like the game one is over, and just to check real quickly, let's go B-Kid. Oh, that's definitely not it. Okay, that is it right there. It looks like, yeah, in the end, Q Squad did come through with a victory. So Q Squad up 1-0 over Complexity. Again, Complexity playing with Tralfamador this weekend at least, so keep an eye on that one. But here we go in this game, Pyromancer Pandemonium coming out here for Team Insanity. So, again, Pandemonium is a lot more useful against a hero like Rally now in the sense of the immobilization cannot be tableted or compelled away, whichever target he's on, so that's good for him. Luna is the final pick coming out here for Stay Green in the meantime, but it's as always fun though to see a new hero like this, and Pandemonium, we don't get to see much of him, so curious to see how he benefits. Now again, other than that, he didn't receive any changes.
No,
though,
but the immobilized thing is huge. The fact that okay, look, if they're going to pick up a rally here, it is another tool against the target that they're not going to be able to be pushed back to instantly be saved. On top of tablets, I mean, that was Pandemonium's biggest weakness.
Yeah.
The fact that that's taken away really does a lot in making it viable again.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no secret. I mean, his damage output is
huge.
It is
absolutely he scales into the late game incredibly well.
Yeah.
Honestly, for a strength hero. The tankier you make him, he still continues to put up absurd amounts of damage.
Yeah.
Fate being picked up here, I'm really interested to see how the hero pans out after this patch. I mean, that is a lot of pressure to be applied to a Moon Queen.
Yeah, and then the first pick on top of that out of the lock pool. I mean, again, not only with the changes, but the first pick. I know Fuzi loves playing Fate. It plays it very well. Keeper of the Forest Tempest though is going to be the follow-up here from Stay Green.
What does Keeper of the Forest Tempest need? Damage.
Yeah.
They need damage for their team. Moon Queen does provide that. Another lockdown tool from Bubbles. Bubbles, Keeper, Tempest again. The teams before the match was starting, they were actually joking around like, someone was like, Insania, you always joke around being like, oh, my drafter's so bad. He always gives them, Keeper of the Forest Tempest, and now you found yourself, he's like, oh, please, Keeper of the Forest Tempest sucks in this new patch. You guys just got lucky. We're fine. Swindle Melons is obviously like, dude.
So you were saying?
You were saying, come at us. We're going to smash you. So
I'm sure those are the exact words right now. No, yeah, it's definitely the mindset. Some fun mind games going on there, but there's no doubt it's still a very strong combination coming out between the two. Okay, wow, yeah, they almost random that. There was 1 second left on the extra time, and Insania actually picked it up. So. Okay, what is he at? Does hero damage do 3 points of damage to couriers? And
melee 2 hits.
Maybe somebody should read the patch notes.
Range just 3, creep 6.
There is a lot to read. Can't blame him. So, but yeah, you just explained it right there. As far as what it actually takes to kill the couriers. And we saw that in the previous series where it was a case of one of the couriers getting killed. Oh no, that was game 1 actually. Oh yeah, wow, yeah, that was game 1. Where Seafreak killed the courier. And he's the one asking the question. That's fine. Anywho, pause to start things off here, but excited to see the Pandemonium going to be played by Noob G here. No doubt going to be focusing that farm up. And again, a hero with a lot of damage output potential. Fuzi is not going to be playing Fate, by the way. He's actually going to be stuck on the Pyromancer. Instead, Insania is going to be stepping up to play the Fate here. Sender playing the Torturer.
Yeah, he does get to play Pyro in more of a farming role, though, which... looking for increased burst damage to try to handle that Moon Queen. If they kill Moon Queen, honestly, they are looking pretty good. You need to stop their main source of damage output, otherwise just the bubbles get some magic resistance. If they're able to burst down the Moon Queen and they have some teamfight items like either an Idol or an Astrolabe or just tank up enough in general, that's the point of the fight where it's just like, okay, no matter how well Stay Green does, they're not going to have the damage output to kill as long as they tank up effectively. So looking forward to seeing those teamfight items happen, otherwise just effective burst, effective lockdown of this Moon Queen.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see coming out here. Again, Moon Queen game, back-to-back games here in this series. Obviously, the first game played by Team Insanity. Noob G specifically played it very well, but just the early game presence, just way too much to handle from Stay Green in the end. Can it be a similar story for now Team Insanity here? Or will it be the different one? Slicks is playing the Moon Queen. Again, to reiterate that, he is once again back in Australia now. So having to deal with that. And I'm guessing this is a USE server still. Yeah, it definitely is.
Couple things here. They do have to mobilize on the Hellborn team for Rally. They have that Keeper of the Forest, so once again, going to make life a little bit difficult for him. They also have Keeper of the Forest, Root, and Tempest Elemental Void to break Pandemonium Space Smash, even through Shrunken Head. So, in spite of the fact that tablets are no longer effective, they will be forced to burn ultis if they want to stop it. Other than that, Pandemonium's damage does completely go through Shrunken Head. So, Moon Queen, even after a Shrunken Head, sometimes in Sea she is still relatively squishy. Pandemonium can still address that and is not really concerned with it.
Yeah, true, very true. So again, Noobchi, we'll see how he progresses in this game as we are coming out of the pause. And ready to go and jump back into what is game number 2. Obviously, as you can see on your screen, State Green is currently up 1-0. So if you are tuning us late, then, well, not only did you miss the game 1 of this one, but you missed a great series earlier on. Definitely check those up in VOD as soon as those are up. The Lions versus the Yeah series. Best of the 3 over there, so.
Interesting.
What do we got here, Laney?
We're actually going to see a Moon Queen solo middle in this game against a Torture Pandemonium. Moon Queen is really fast. Can apply some proper footwork here to this Torture, but if he gets stunned out, that is going to be so much trouble, man. One Torture stun should buy enough room for that Pandemonium to get a flick and a cannonball off, and from there on out, you can write Moon Queen off.
They're not going to double jungle, are they? What is going on here? Okay, no, okay, so yeah, Luna's going to be the support. Wait, what? What is going on? It's going to be a Luna Moon Queen middle? Is that what's going to happen? Okay.
I'm sure she'll rotate. She was just sort of spacing up there initially, yeah.
Yeah, she got a Ward Aside down way over here at the top lane. In the lane, actually.
Yeah, no, I said Moon Queen solo middle because Aluna ran top right away, but she was just going there for posturing because of the ward change. It wouldn't have made sense for the double jungle, so it was and actually, they're opting to transition. Okay, so that play a lot of role. They actually are opting to transition to have that Moon Queen lane top, so.
Just kidding. Oh, you almost fooled them, Insania. Almost.
Oh, actually, Rally ran past the, okay, that's why. They had that Ward of Sight down by Z-Freak in the lane. They saw the Rally, and they knew that Rally was going to be up there. So now that they have a read on the lanes, they know they're putting Moon Queen in the most advantageous lane they can right at the start.
All right, so yeah, Moon Queen is going to be that short lane, and as you were saying, this is now a pretty big deal that Moon Queen should have a very good time in terms of free farming, and Rally is just going to be pushed back here from Z-Freak, playing the Aluna, of course. That means Swinamel's on the bubbles here in the middle lane. Back-to-back game for Swinamel's actually playing that bubbles role. And then that means, of course, Keizu, the Suicide Keeper Forest, while you got Chessie on Tempest in the jungle, so the usual right there. This is interesting. The Pandemonium Fade lane. Not a... Okay, Fade is going out of the top, I was going to say. That is not something you maybe expect.
Yeah, no,
she is running towards the top right now.
Fade's going to the top because they're just applying, trying to apply pressure to that Moon Queen. It's, yeah, that ward placed by Z-Freak just totally changed how they laned up. They figured Rally are really strong in those 1v2 mids. They're like, okay, Rally's going to go mid. They're going to otherwise send their really strong lane top to deal with Moon Queen. And well, if he had stayed back in the first place, they would have had to swap around on the Hellborn side instead.
Yeah. You do see right there with the creep pulls, again, definitely a change coming into play. Ward of Sight just placed down right there. It's going to be immediately countered by Z-Freak. He had the rev here initially to counter Ward. It wasn't put down until right there, and Z-Freak's like, okay, I'll go ahead and destroy that. So very, very good just heads up coming out from Z-Freak right there, playing the Aluna.
Phenomenal choice to send this Pyromancer against the Keeper of the Forest, by the way. We saw previously, I forget who it was in one of the first games that we casted today, but they had a matchup against the Keeper of the Forest that was just a pretty neutral matchup across the board. Was it a Wretched Hag or...
I'm trying to think, yeah.
I don't remember exactly. I have to go back to at this point, but yeah, either way, Pyromancer does smash, absolutely smash Keeper of the Forest here. Strong harass coming out because of that fervor, and in general, due to the nerfs that he took in his laning presence, I expect to see Pyromancer do phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah, again, Fuzi playing that Pyromancer, definitely off to the great start here.
The tower.
What's that? Oh, the tower, yeah?
Yeah, just, he was trying to fit the auto attacks. Got aggro a little bit, but he's still more than fine.
Fade porting to the bottom lane. He's just going to go ahead and look to do some polling, actually, looks like. But again, to bring this back over quickly, the change to the polls, the whole lane dynamic, as it was called, in the gameplay changes, where the neutrals now do more damage to the, the lane creeps do a lot more damage to the neutrals, and the neutrals do a lot less damage now to the lane creeps. I think it's like 50% actually less, so makes that whole polling situation a little less viable. He's going to stack it first, obviously, but a little less viable in the sense of the positive for the team that's doing it. That's what it comes down to. So
yeah, get your experience a little bit quicker though, at least. And well, you can't chain pull anymore though, so he is limited to just these 2 camps. Keep an eye on this neutral camp for a while, so you guys can just see how effective it is and how much more damage they do. He actually got the partial pull off. Interesting. That actually is pretty good, honestly.
Yeah.
Creates an interesting deny effect while still maintaining lane control, and it's going to push back naturally for the Pyromancer, so actually we made it very favorably.
See at the top lane, same situation going on. Raleigh coming in here. Oh, he tried to steal. I'm not even sure who got that, actually.
Yeah, but now look at the creep wave that's being sent back over to the right.
Oh, jeez, yeah. It's a big creep wave coming here, so Tempest is going to continue to find himself involved with
Nice job. Nice job. Look at Zibe. He's actually blocking the stack. Slowing down Tempest's farm just a little bit.
Just being the harasser that he can be, so well played right there. Look at Pyromancer again, just continuing to apply the auto attacks to keep the forest, taking advantage of his nerfs perhaps. In comes Fate, Burning Shadow is going to be applied right there. The Dragonfire stun on top of the Phoenix Wave. Will it be there for the kill? No, it's not. The Cold even coming out, but Keeper of the Forest is still a little bit too tanky. And he does ultimately stay alive. So
they're forcing him to run back, though. I want to see Pyromancer get a little bit of mono regen here, so at level 6 he's primed and ready to go. Maybe even a bottle. Something so he gets regen quickly so that Keeper of the Forest does not have any point where he can stand in lane and feel confident. I want him to constantly be feeling afraid of whether or not Pyromancer's going to be able to slay him. Right here, he is being forced to go back to base. He's going to teleport back to full regen. Courier in use, so Pyromancer is not grabbing that bottle. Probably just going to opt to go straight Steam Boots instead.
This middle matchup going with that said, haven't really kept a close eye on Pandemonium, honestly. Swindelmount's at the top lane. He does have his cooldowns, but he's taking a good amount of pressure from Raleigh right here. Raleigh doesn't have Compel for another 4 seconds. Swindelmount obviously knows that.
He's alright.
Yeah, he's going to be fine in the end. But going back to the middle lane, though, Pandemonium 27-10, Moon Queen 12-4 right now. Noob G is having a very good time, honestly, on this Pandemonium.
Yeah.
The lane it looks like, so keep an eye on the start that he continues to have. Luna is here now with this Moon Queen, and actually Tempest charging in. Level 6, but couldn't get close enough.
It's one of those angles, man. Don't want to find yourself in.
Yeah.
It's a slicks, man.
Get in there, but ooh, back to the top and again. Bubbles, a lot of pressure. He's going to be fine, but Raleigh just making sure to keep it up. So Xavier doing a good job. And actually, his presence is definitely showing. I mean, he's out farming this Bubbles by quite a bit.
Look, Pyromancer actually has the dust, and
oh yeah,
he's a little bit more mana here to put out a full combo. It's going to be okay.
That's the question. Yeah, Blazing Strikes is 280.
It's over 500. Yeah, exactly. So it's 405 for the Phoenix Wave, and the Blazing Strike alone, 495 if you actually want the full combo. And still a little bit short. I was surprised he went for the Bolstering Armband instead of the Apprentice's Robes for that extra little bit of mana.
Oh, true, yeah. That's a very good point, especially since they even...
He has an advantageous lane, and, you know.
Well, for now, I mean, not going to have anything happen just yet, but here we are 6.5 minutes in. No Bloodlust kill coming out just yet. You see Pandemonium right there, going to use a flurry a little bit to go ahead and help with some creep kills as well. He does have the level 1 for you. He's actually maxing out the Cannonball first, it looks like. Currently has a level 3 Cannonball right here. Uh-oh, Tempest here, level 7, does have Invis activated. Wonder if they actually saw him.
Two-man ulti, and
they did have a ward of sight
honestly, Pandemonium's tanky enough where even a two-man ulti might result in him living, even with a full ulti coming out. Not anymore. Yeah, it'd have to be at full health.
Yeah. See Tempest, he is just out of that tower range. But it's
health
not
potion coming out right away, as well as the steam boots. So I honestly think even with the ultimate, it's not going to be enough.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. There's a double Tempest ultimate. Will it be enough? Okay, this is what you're talking about. The power throw coming out towards you. Looks like he is going to fall, but Pandemonium is going to be fine. Oh, maybe not. Actually, can't get the cannonball off. there's that cannonball. Will it be enough to actually get away? Big turn up happening. No, he will survive.
Yeah.
Power throw just missing right there. Meanwhile, the bottom lane, big nukes coming out onto Keeper the Forest, and Pyromancer finally does do work against the Keeper, so at least they do get a kill at the bottom lane.
That was beautiful timing of all their stuns too, man. The Glacial Blast on top of the Moonbeam, they were perfectly staggered. Even so, it wasn't enough. Pyromancer able to apply a lot of pushing pressure here against the Keeper of the Forest as well. That Fervor just absolutely annihilating towers in 1 point. So nice momentum is established, thus was used to bring down KZU, as you saw.
Yeah, again, despite the Bloodlust kill for the Hellborn team, I feel like the Legion team big time came out on top of that whole situation, because the Tempest Ultimate being used, I mean, the tower going down at the bottom lane on top of the Keeper kill, so yeah, it's in the last minute, it's in favor of the Legion team, and it shows in the stats, actually, so good news for them, definitely. In fact, Pandemonium now 300 gold per minute. There's a life to
Panda don't care. Panda is ulti.
What's up?
I said Panda is ulti now. He doesn't care. He can play very confident up in front here. Yeah. He knows the Elemental Void is down, so the window of gank opportunities is completely closed as long as they vision on these bubbles.
Oh, top lane. Rally going to the bubbles, but at what cost right here? He's in a lot of trouble. Tempest coming. He doesn't have an ultimate, of course. Cuff going to be just too much damage nonetheless as down falls Rally. So, Chelsea doing a good job of cleaning up the kill at the top lane. Good job of roaming around right there.
Keeping active. The bubbles needed it because Rally was doing phenomenal in the lane. Curious to see it from here. They know Elemental Void is down. They know Bubbles ulti's down for 70 seconds. If they're going to try to force a fight, say, in middle, I could see Rally porting into mid right now, forcing for that tower push.
Yeah.
They don't have a lot. Moon Queen ulti is not up yet. Luna no red power throw. It's sure they have a Keeper of the Forest, but that's hardly enough damage. So I honestly would go for it.
We'll see. Rally he is going to be porting to the top lane. It looks like just going to go back to just farming up here. He actually goes on a bubble seismic. Oh, he tried to bait the take cover if anything, but now Moon Queen coming in with that Moonbeam. Bubbles putting in the auto attacks. Has a shell serve. He's not going to port in though. There's a homecoming stone port from Torture that's going in, and in the end, both sides will stay alive right there. So. Good attempt from Zibe, so choosing to go to the top lane, at least pressures Bubbles quite a bit, and will force him to fall all the way back to base, as you see. While this is happening, Pyromancer continuing to farm very well here at the bottom lane, 340 gold per minute.
I gotta say, I felt like there was more of a window there for them, just like, you know, converge mid. They knew Bubbles ulti was down, they knew the Tempest ulti was down, just make something happen. Now they have Moon Queen ulti as well, and well, Tempest is only down to 30 seconds at this point. Oh, hasted Moon Queen Rally. He's going to have to push himself down below, probably.
Oh, he's going to use this aggressively. Oh, he goes on to Moon Queen. The seismic slam moving up at the blazing strike from Fuzi coming out. Dragon Strike will hit as well. Burning Shadows comes up. What a great job by the Legion team right there. Rally leading the way. Huge play. You called it, man. He knew the support was coming, and just great teamwork as a whole.
Yeah, phenomenal timing, tight execution, and yeah, Moon Queen felt confident. He's like, I'm hasted. Rally, deal with it. You know, he's trying to force him back. Rally instead walks forward. They're like, what the heck? They start chasing him. And, yeah, great setup there. Give a lot of credit to Zibe and his team for the proper setup. And Pyromancer should be able to take out this tower pretty damn quickly. Port's coming in yet, and figuring they're just going to let it fall to the rivered up Pyro.
Speaking of tower kills, obviously Stakery gets the bottom tower kill right there, but the top tower is also down. And there you go in here with the Legion team. Whether the middle tower falls is a question now. We see the flick coming up from Pandemonium. Oh, that was a poor choice, though. He tries to cannonball away as his corpse just falls to the ground. Kelfu going to be used right there. Center's down a lot of trouble as well. 4 versus 1, I should say. And Torture does fall on top of that. So a big bait opportunity right there for Stakery, and pays off big time. And now they are going to counter push the middle lane. So, yeah, Pandemonium thought he had a chance right there. It turned out to actually bite him.
All 5 were up, and no one except for maybe Keeper of the Forest, who's in the woods right now, was on the map. There were ports coming in, diving that far after just establishing a great advantage for a team. Is just taking it too far. They only had 2 heroes. They only had 2 heroes. Fate is low. He's at 1,300 gold. They could have really, honestly, just served to play it safe.
Yeah. So in the end, again, a good fight coming out right there for State Green, and, well, the gold advantage is just about identical right here, 12 minutes into this game right now. It is a 4-3 hero kill advantage in favor of the Hellborn team. As Tempest does have 400 gold per minute right now. He is continuing to lead the way, so Jesse obviously doing a great job here in this game. Fuzi is clearing out some jungle stacks in the meantime, so enhancing his farm. 1,700 gold saved up on his way to... Wouldn't be surprised to see a portal key here for Pyromancer. Looks like that's be a popular item, of course. Mighty Blade picked up by Pandemonium. Obviously a Shrunken Head, even more so now with that change. Very, very useful on him. You did talk about the whole Keeper and Tempest still, but...
Yeah, the Keeper and Tempest fighting lockdowns, but still there's a lot of purpose to making a Shrunken Head on Panda, let's be honest.
Yeah. He is a hero that is, well, gets up there in the front of those fights and puts himself into susceptible places, and having a Shrunken Head obviously helps for that, so... Fade has definitely recovered a lot, man. I have been focusing on Insania quite a bit. He had a poor start when it came to levels, especially in farm, but you know, as the game progressed, kept moving around, and you do see now he is level 8, so obviously he's had that reflection for a little bit. In fact, going to use it right here. I don't know, though. Oh, God, this is another bait coming out right here. Will they fall for this? Slicks is just sitting there like, oh, no, they're going to jump me. Help me, guys. Raleigh goes in, but at what cost right here? Slicks may fall. No, he's going to stay alive. The Moon Finale comes out. Both Raleigh and Fade will fall. Oh, you feel for them, man. I mean, we could see that the whole time, but they could not, unfortunately.
So they're trying to make these aggressive ganks happen with only 2 heroes.
Yeah.
You know, they're trying to make it happen with only 2 heroes. Slick surviving, then his team was waiting. They know, they know the strength of punching, making sure that in the fights you have the numbers advantage, and it doesn't matter then, you know, what the enemy team tries to do. They just, you know, logistically, they're at a disadvantage at that point. And when the entire point of your game is to just make sure Moon Queen has an okay time in the early mid phase and has enough going into that, you know, 20-minute mark where she can still compete, they're doing just that. They're phenomenal job. That kill not only lets you those 2 kills, a free tower kill on top of it. And now you're looking at a Moon Queen that's propelled up to 300 gold per minute after having to suffer time in the early laning.
And she's 4th on her team overall. I mean, they're going to go for a very, very respectable farm for her at this point. And, the fact that she's 4th on her team definitely tells you something. Here we go, the cannonball on top of the Compel. They're trying to drop this Moon Queen. Will it be enough damage? No, once again, oh, barely it will be enough as she falls. But again, at what cost? Rally running away. Down one Torturer. But that will be the end of that. So Stay Green trying to keep the push going. They eventually do get stopped right there. And an exchange that the Legion team is happy to make in the end. As it ends up being a 1-for-1 right there from Moon Queen for Torturer.
Yep, gotta hold down the Moon Queen, man, 100%. Yeah. So
they will take that. Dropping her GPM a little bit. I don't know if she actually finished her Whispering up or not.
Chessie, man, he's not even joking around. He's like, I'm just building a straight Shrunken Head.
Yeah. You
guys won't be able to do anything about it. It'll keep my Moon Queen protected and alive and deal with it.
Yeah. You know, the Mighty Blade, in fact, clearing up some triple stack. These are all Predestars here, actually. So, obviously, more of the physical damage resistance of Ancients here. Fade opening on and Keeper the Force in the meantime does have a double damage rally nearby. Nice, a Luna stun though, and might save Keeper the Force in the end. Yes, it looks like it will. They do not have dust or anything of the like. And both of them, everyone will get away. In the meantime, Moon Queen barely surviving herself, as she'll barely fly away before she gets taken out. So a lot of close kills it looks like happening, but none of them actually following through, unfortunately. And that definitely hurts the Legion team a little more, as they were the ones that had the opportunities right there. Make that happen. Pyromancer, oh, it even looks like he actually used his Blazing Strike on a Moon Queen, and it still wasn't enough for the kill. That's going to hurt.
The cooldown is pretty rough. He was level, I don't think he was level 11 yet when he cast
No.
it, so he had to suffer for the 150 second cooldown. So, I mean, at this point, Stay Green is exactly where they need to be. They just have to play the game slow from here and just take guaranteed team fights. They've got the lockdown for Moon Queen. They've got the ultimate lockdown for Moon Queen.
Yeah.
Keeper of the Forest, Tempest, and they haven't been punished for it in the laning. Early on, it looked like they were. Early on, it looked like there were big plays coming out from Team Insanity, but now the momentum is swinging. It's...
Yeah, it's Stay Green definitely picking it up, and before the patch, after the patch, I mean, it comes down to the same case of Stay Green. Is there really any team better than, you know, getting a lead and not losing it? I mean, once they start to really just get that lead, it just seems nearly impossible to come back from, just because of how good their teamwork is, how fluid everything is for them. And I can just tell they really feed off of that momentum as a team. So
I think it's their understanding of the risk versus reward ratio. They don't make like high risk plays for medium rewards. They pretty much, the way they favor playing is low risk, low to medium reward, and then it's making those choices over and over and over again, while the enemy team is falling into traps and they're capitalizing on their mistakes.
Speaking of that, Fade actually right here. He's going to be completely
You're not in biz, man. You're taking.
Oh, they find a lot of attack. Will get the kill. Bubbles being locked on by Pyromancer, but he'll be more than fine. Blazing Strike
Root
still
is
not
on
up,
Keeper of the
obviously.
Forest.
And Root is definitely up. Gonna use it right there. It catches Torture. Cannonball in from Pandemonium. Wants to get the revenge, but now he's blocked. He uses his flurry right there to try to get out, but now Pandemonium is in a lot of trouble. A nice Dragon Strike stun coming out from Pyromancer. The flick right there. Gonna be used on the Bubbles, and now Pyromancer, he's the one to pursue. Tempest, oh, Tempest got ultimate right there. It will catch Pyromancer as Rally just runs away. So yeah, it just feels like Team Insanity just kind of falling apart right there at the seams. And well, as you were just saying, Emperor, Stay Green just knows how to capitalize off of those mistakes.
Yeah, just very strong defensive play in general. And when they are offensive, they make sure they have the burst and they make sure they have the numbers coming up or following up to make something happen. They don't make those plays where you're going in a tower with 2 people and it's like, okay, if the enemy ports, we're screwed, but we're going to hope they don't port. You don't see those plays being made.
Beautiful tree block in, and will get the kill on Exhibit right there. Tempest in the meantime, he's going to be turned on. Burning Shadows hits both of them. The cool on top of the Cannonball comes in from Pandemonium, the flurry to finish off Tempest. And now Keeper and Aluna are on the run. I mean, they did get the initial kill onto Rally. Beautiful red stun coming out. It does stun Pandemonium as well as Fade. And Z-Freak going to go one direction, whereas Keizu goes the other.
No.
Oh, Deep Shadow spots him. The minions are on him, and Aluna will eventually fall right here. As Noob G gets a double tap, so does get a 2 kills right there. His first 2 kills of the game, mind you, and he gets him pretty close to that Shrunken Head, actually. So at least a couple of good kills coming out for Team Insanity here.
Yeah, he will have Shrunken Head, but so does his buddy Tempest already at this point. For the Forest, yeah, it's actually kind of funny to see. Moon Queen is still 4th highest farmer on her team, but you don't look at her and be like, oh, she's totally suffering.
Oh no.
She'd have to go Energizer, so has a fair amount of stats early.
Oh, here we go. Jump in right here from Pyromancer. Song of the Sea is going to saucer after the Dragon Fire stun. In comes Rally, though, with the Seismic Slam. Kelfield going to hold him in place, however. Both Bubbles and Keeper, again, just get away. And look at that, there's a good old double damage rune that Bubbles will gladly pick up as well. So even more of a case of the Legion team just going to get some kills and just can't finish them off. Going to be able to clean up the Ancients at least. But yeah, as you're just referring to, I mean, you got Moon Queen, Steam Boots, Energizer, Whispering Hell, and he's level 11. That's a very solid place to be at 20 minutes into the game. It's just even scarier knowing that 3 out of his 4 other teammates are higher gold per minute than him, including Bubbles and Tempest really up there. Right now, tops in the game. Bubbles, the Sacrificial Stone, on top of the Portakey and Steve Boots, and then you got Tempest up there with that Shrunken Head already finished. You're mentioning that. He ain't joking around. He just wants to get that Shrunken Head ASAP. Does going to be used up here. Fade trying to run away in the meantime. Bubbles knows where he's at. It's just a matter of can he actually get there. Doesn't look like Swindlemel's will be able to. In fact, Swindlemel's going to be turned on now. In jumps Pyromancer as well. Down goes Bubbles. So good job by Insanity right there, kiting away from Swindlemel. It's keeping him occupied. And eventually gets a turn kill and a legendary streak.
Pretty big. Yeah, I should say that was a big golden experience. I was like, oh well, it's a legendary streak. And he was 5-0 at that point. So yeah, definitely coming into play. So Moon Queen did go for a lot of these build-up items. So in spite of the fact that she's not looking too weak at all by now, by any chance, she has vestments and she's pretty big, a lot of stats and some decent damage. Building up that Mighty Blade, but still going to be a while for that Shrunken Head. Rally is caught out here, though, Breaky.
Yeah, Rally's in trouble. We're going to Tempest ultimate. Not even necessary. Z-Freak actually getting credit for the kill right there. That was just simply a case of the Nature's Veil Keeper running in, gets the root off, and Rally just did not have any time right there to even compel away. He just got chain locked down and eventually fell. You do see the Bound Die picked up on Aluna again. You can tell by the animation. And so they now have that for scouting out the Invis presence, specifically that Fade. On top of being able to use it for counter-warding purposes. Kongor is going to easily fall right here. I don't see our Team Insanity any bit stopping this. As even if they know what's going on, they don't have a ward of sight here. Perhaps they have an idea, but they're not stopping it with Rally Dead especially. So it is going to fall in favor of State Green, and we'll probably see this. Actually, middle lane, Fade's getting caught out right here. Dust going to be used. Fade is going to end up dropping. The Kelfield holding her in place, and Kongor goes down on top of that. As Token of Life is picked up by Moon Queen. Adding insult to injury right there with that kill. I just saw a Light Brand purchase, I thought. Yes, Pyromancer. So Pyromancer does get the Light Brand here after the Portal Key. Obviously, a Grimoire of Power seems like it could be a very powerful tool yet again, this time on Pyromancer. but will be a ways before he can get it, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's still very squishy in general, and I was looking at the AoE lockdown. It doesn't matter if he has a Grimmar or a Lightbrand or what it is.
Wow, yeah.
The Lightbrand's not going to help him against this lock. The Shrunken Head, Portal Keys coming up any second now. The Root coming out from Keeper of the Forest. This is the ultimate alone. The AoE is just going to be too much. He's not going to be able to get his spells off unless he's going for quick, like, solo pickoffs. When it comes to team fights, he has no chance.
Right here, I mean, the life still doing some work for Slicks. Slicks actually turned this around. The Moon Finale just drops Torture.
Sender, stop!
Oh, Sender's like, okay, we're going in. 1, 2, 3. Oh, wait, I'm dead. Never mind. Powermancer just could not really combo nearly in time for Torture. Well played by Slicks right there. I mean, he even knew because Powermancer tried to combo him earlier, and he just still kept on going.
Well,
yeah.
and he had 1,400 health and investments. I think at that point he was like, you just honestly come at me.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Well, you talk about Powermancer. I mean, look at his life. He only has 800 life. I mean, his team boots aren't into.
Yeah, imagine if he walked into that ultimate as well. It's pretty much just asking to die.
A double kill for Moonqueen right there, so at least they minimized their losses, I guess. But still, very good fight for Moonqueen. And now you see Moonqueen's gold really starting to raise up here. Upwards of 355 gold per minute. Man, I still go back to it. It's going to be more. I'm sure it's going to be more and more evident, and we need to get more skills in games. But it really feels like just alone from today. This is now the 5th game we've casted today, and since the patch really that came out yesterday, the gold per minute charts are pretty ridiculous, honestly, in every single game that I can recall. In terms of just as a team, many players being up there in the GPM chart. Than what we're used to seeing before the patch. So.
There's just a lot more. There's more gold being kept in the game in general, not taken out. So, as such, it makes sense that there's, the charts do reflect that. Honestly, that's one of the points being made about the patch, and we're seeing it in action here. Rally's on the side. They do have no read on it. Once the 6th Sense come out, still, Keeper of the Forest and Tempest both have their ultimates up. 45 seconds here on Moonqueen. I think they feel they can safely push without a major team fight being presented unless they want to go hard, so they're okay with this, honestly.
Oh yeah, they're more than fine with this. You got Rally off to the side. He is spotted now, but it's just a matter of do they have that opportunity? Do they have that opening? Pandemonium, he's looking pretty strong here. In fact, here we go. The jump's going in the meantime. The jump's on to Keeper the Force, trying to lock it in. But the Tempest ultimate! Jesse says, nah, he's going to hold him in place. Down goes Pandemonium. And Torch right there. The Root to follow it. The Legion team is just falling to pieces. GG, well played is being called, and it looks like it is going to be a 2-0 victory in favor of Stay Green over Team Insanity. So Stay Green moving along here in the $5,000 Invitational event. Of course, the Runic Shift, the Patch 3.1 tournament here just this weekend. A very simple 8-team format, single elimination. Stay Green moving on, and that means they're going to be playing, They're going to be playing a.k.a. Team Tankafets, tomorrow in the match that we are going to be covering, of course, as far as our semifinal matchup. So congratulations to Stay Green, Team Insanity. They don't go home empty-handed. They got some fun experience here for sure, but on top of that, they do get $250 as a team. Not too shabby for playing a best-of-3 series.
Yeah, not too bad. They did have to face up against Stay Green. I mean, they are still considered to be the #1 team, just coming hot off their victory at the Hontor Grand Finals, looking to follow up their success here. Well, you know, they got Keeper of the Forest, Tempest both games, and they were very confident they were going to win using it. Nothing was really done to punish them. We saw Stay Green actually using that Ophelia plus Suicide Warbeast combination was able to take advantage of the lack of damage. In a game like this, they have a top-tier carry like Moonqueen that she did get held down in the laning phase. We saw Panda had a really strong start, but it honestly came down to the fact there was that huge fight top where they got a couple of hero kills. They took the tower. Everything was looking really good, honestly, for Insanity. And then Noobg and I believe it was Noobg and who was it? Sender? They went on mid-tower. Yeah. There was only the 2 of them on a Moonqueen pretty damn deep with 4 heroes missing at that point. Yeah. 5 heroes up. Only the Keeper of the Forest was maybe... He was hidden, too, because he was in the woods. It was a completely risky play that when you're actually trying to assert this dominance over a lineup that can spiral out of control quickly, like something like a Moonqueen, Keeper of the Forest, Tempest. You can't afford to do plays like that. You need to take those safer ganks. So honestly, I think that was the major point of where Stay Green just was able to take control of that game and run wild with it. Yeah,
it definitely came together for them very nicely, especially at that point. I mean, and again, Team Insanity at the other side of the other side of the spectrum, just like a lot of teams, especially after these major events finishing up, and as expected, There's shuffling going around with the players. You know, you not only are you having to deal with a completely new patch, you're having to deal with team synergy. This is definitely just another one of those cases, I'm sure. So a team that no doubt as time progresses, I expect to see them at that top level of play. But stay green. They do start off very strong here post-patch here in the Runic Shift Invite Tournament. Just a day later after the patch comes out, and they take a 2-0 victory here, looking pretty strong as always. So stay green again, as you see on your screen right now. That means that one more time that they're going to be playing Team Tankafets, aka Yeah tomorrow. That'll be our first matchup that we're going to be covering here on Honcast. That's going to be at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern, 1800 Central European Time. The bottom portion, though, X-Trademark defeated Afraid earlier. Q Squad currently up 1-0 against Complexity. However, game 2... Yeah, I was looking at that myself.
It's going to be a 1-1 at this point. That is a massive. Be, Look at those levels. That's not really a turnaround team. So, yeah, probably going to be going to a game 3 there, guys. And it's actually Beef Papaya is casting over that at Complexity Cast, Twitch TV/Complexity Han. So if you're interested in those matchups, you can probably tune in over there.
Yeah, definitely suggest heading over there either right now or even just in a couple minutes here. We're going to be wrapping up fairly shortly, of course. But that, of course, covering that matchup, Complexity versus Q Squad. Again, it looks like that could be heading to a game number 3. So I myself am even intrigued to definitely perhaps head over there and check that out after this. But anyway, so ladies and gentlemen, obviously we've had a big patch has hit us. I know it's gonna take some time. You know, things. This is just the beginning of what's to come. Obviously from not the patch side, but from our side. And
yeah, I mean we'll see what's to come. Honestly, it is too early to say. We'll know teams will definitely be feeling things out based on some of the matches I've seen. There's definitely going to be a little bit of variance thrown in there. We've seen here that obviously Keeper of the Forest, Tempest, Moon Queen, those heroes are still very, very powerful. They didn't take any major nerfs, so it's not like these heroes aren't usable anymore. It might be that more heroes become usable and more strats become available, not that these become useless.
You made a great point at going into this. I think it was the second game that it was more of a case of these heroes. They were brought up to that level rather than
attempted to be in the gameplay. Yeah, we'll
exactly.
see how everything plays out.
There weren't any crazy hard nerfs. I think it's safe to say on any of these heroes that we've seen, which I like. I'm overall in favor usually of buffing heroes up to the level, because when heroes get more powerful, things get more awesome. I like to see more heroes. You know, when I play a game, I like to feel like I'm this nerfed down version of a character I used to love. So I'd like to see other heroes being brought to the level of, you know, epic that some of these the former or current top tier heroes also still are, and we'll see if that was achieved and how teams go from here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so again, as far as our coverage here for today, that is going to wrap things up on Honcast.com. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Again, one more time, not only with this new patch, but this is a new beginning in a sense for us here at Honcast, obviously with our new production, new producer. Shout out to Panman with that said, as well as our new studio and everything else. This is just the beginning, and we're going to have a lot of fun with it. We're going to have a lot of fun, and hopefully not... hopefully it is going to show, and I am confident that it will show here, you know, come these next couple of weeks, even, and of course down the line. So
I think it's going to be an awesome, just new experience in general. So I'm looking forward to it.
It's going to be fun for everyone involved. So, most importantly, including you guys at home that are tuning in. So, with that said, one more time to kind of wrap things up here. First off, Emperor, do you have any final words here?
No. Just thank you guys for tuning in. I'm just honestly looking forward to everything to come over the next few weeks. Looking forward to not only the new patch, but getting established here in the new studio and plans that we have, and we'll be doing to improve our quality here at Honcast. And you know, other than that, just thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you catch that game, that Complexity versus Q Squad game that will be going to game 3 shortly over at Complexity Han.
Twitch.tv/ComplexityHon. So with that said, as soon as tomorrow, you guys should be tuning in back here to Honcast.com as well. Again, at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern, 1800 Central European Time, we'll have our semifinal matchup, Stay Green versus Yeah-Yeahs, aka Team Tankafets. And then the grand finals are going to be shortly after that.
That's right.
Another best-of-3 series. So again, it's a simple single elimination, 8-team tournament, $5,000 on the line. Yeah, we're already having a lot of fun with it. Day 1 in the books. To wrap things up from Emperor, you can find this guy at Domain of Pain.
And this guy over here at BreakyCPK.
You can go to Honcast.com as well as HonTour.com. All that jazz. Follow the @Honcast as well on both Facebook and Twitter for a lot of updated information. Until tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you. Have a good night.
Talk your shit, talk your shit. Spit your game, talk your shit. Talk your shit, talk your shit. Spit your game, talk your shit. Talk your shit, talk your shit. On the back, in the back to the back, on the back, spit your game, talk your shit. On the back, bust your dome in the back, hit with real, on the back, talk your shit, talk your shit. On the back, in the back to the back, on the back, spit your game, talk your shit. On the back, bust your dome in the back, hit with real, on the back, talk your shit, talk your shit.